What is happening, YouTube? It's your boy Trev. I had a little fun earlier with that video. If you didn't see it, it's like a 2-minute video. It was a good time for me to do. Hopefully, everybody watched it and had a little bit of a chuckle with it. But obviously, I was just kidding around, or was I? Anyway, I was ooh, this is like piping hot. This mic. Let me see if I can turn that down a little bit. All right. I was chit-chatting a little bit about Alan the Alien. And like I said, it was a fun thing. So if you haven't watched it, I'll link it at the end here. Go and watch it. It's like a 2-minute thing. But I want to actually talk to you a little more seriously about this project, and specifically about the team behind this project. And I'll explain why as we go along. But let me take you to, I'm going to take you to the chart and pull that up. And I'm not sure why that did that, but hopefully, are we in the right place? Let me make sure that, yeah, I think we're in the right place. Okay. All right. Anyway, here's the chart. How do I get rid of that? Like that. So, Alan the Alien. First off, they had a pre-sale a few days ago. Sold it out in, I've heard everything from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. I'm not sure. But it was like 1,000 SOL, 1,000 SOL, and they sold it out. Boom, gone. They had given whitelist spots for this pre-sale, and there were some people who were whitelisted who still couldn't even get in. I mean, trading was fast and furious, and a lot of people snatched up a whole lot of this really, really fast. And then after that, yesterday, well, they were going to do a launch after that. Didn't quite work out. Pink Sale was having some issues. Radium was having some issues. And finally, they launched yesterday. And it was a decent launch. So looking here, this is a 30-minute chart. You can see this first candle, and you see the wick on that. This wick went up like, I don't know, 10x from where it is right now. It went up to like 3024, somewhere around there, right? And big wick obviously came back down, and I think we can clearly assume what that was, because we had a pre-sale, and because some people were able to grab a boatload of this stuff. When it ran up that high, because everyone was trying to get in really fast, which you don't really need to do, but that's what they were doing, people took profits, right? So it went up. People took profits, and it came back down, settled in on that candle here at 4046, around there, which is a decent area. And since then, it has kind of traded in that area, right? Only over like the last maybe few hours or whatever has it actually taken a little bit of a dip, right? Which is good for anybody who wants to potentially jump into this thing. Why would you want to jump into this thing? Well, it's on Solana, right? That doesn't really speak all that well of it. A lot of people hate Solana. The reason they hate Solana is because Solana is chock full of rug pulls. I'm looking at the wrong camera, and yes, I am. There you are. Chock full of rug pulls. There is a new project launching on Solana every 5-10 minutes, right? And people have actually jumped in there to try to trade these things, right? And if you watch the buys coming in, something, it'll pop up on Dex Screen or a Dex View or whatever, and it'll say, launched 12 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So you'll go in and you look at it, and you watch the buys that are coming in, and you see a lot of $10, $12, $15 buys, because it's a game that you're playing now. There are so many rug pulls, right? 9.9 out of 10 probably projects that launch on Solana, meme coins, are going to be a rug pull. So it's a game that they play now, because what will happen is these people will launch, they'll let it run up for an hour, maybe 2 sometimes, right? Maybe even 3 if they're really doing good. And then they just pull the liquidity, because you don't know who they are, and you watch it drop down to 0 in a second. The rug has been pulled, and if you haven't got out, your $10, $12, $15 is gone, right? So the game is, can I put in $10 and 2x my money, maybe even 3x my money, right? With 10 bucks. Can I make 20 bucks, 30 bucks? And can I get in and get out before it dives, right? I mean, there are game shows that have been like that, right? Where the clock is going and you got to accomplish something before the clock goes. Otherwise, it blows up in your face, right? It's kind of what's going on with Solana now. So a lot of people stay away from Solana because that's not how they want to trade. They're looking for solid projects. Well, every once in a while, you do find a project that is solid on Solana. Why do they launch on Solana? Well, Solana is very inexpensive and very easy to launch on, especially compared to something like Ethereum right now, okay? And for buying, the fees for buying on Solana are dirt cheap, okay? On Ethereum, you better be going into a play with 500 bucks, $1,000 if you even want to kind of absorb what it's going to cost you for gas. Because if you're going in with like 30 bucks to buy a play, you're going to pay another $32 in gas, right? So now you've got that project has to 2x before you're even back to even, right? So these are some of the reasons people buy on Solana, some of the reasons people launch on Solana. Every once in a while, like I say, you can find a good project on Solana. How do you tell if it's a good project? Well, a few different ways, right? What I've found myself doing the last few days since I've been looking at Solana is I'll scroll down on Dex Screener or whatever, and I'll see if there are any socials, right? It's kind of an easy, cheap way to do it. See if there are any socials. Is there an X account? Is there a Telegram, right? Jump in. It's very easy to tell whether the conversations or the things that you're seeing posted are actual real people or bots or just spam, you know? If you jump into a TG or you get into on a Twitter account and they were just created 2 or 3 days ago and they already have like 10,000 members or whatever, you know that's bullshit, right? It's just not going to happen. But if you go into, like, let's say the TG and you see maybe there's 1,000 members and a couple hundred online, or 2,000 members, a couple hundred online, and you scroll through and you see actual conversations going on by real people, and then maybe you want to look and see who's the team, right? Sometimes you can do like /team, and if there's a bot in there, that it'll come up and tell you who the team is, and see if the team is actually in there chatting too, right? Read some of the conversations. Find out as much as you can, but if you can do that, you're a step ahead with a Solana project. Most of them, probably 9.9, don't have any socials, don't have any intention of lasting any longer than a couple of hours before they're going to rug pull on you, right? Alan the Alien is one of those projects that has socials, has a history, has a team that you can know who they are, you can talk to, has been involved with their community, honestly, for about 3 years now. Because they've been involved with a couple of other projects that they have launched, okay? The same guys. So, question that has come up to me. I understand. I'm giving you my opinion on why I think this project is a project worth you at least looking at, okay? I'm going to spell that out to you. These guys have had a couple other projects, and when I tell people that, I'm like, well, they're like, why do you want to look at a meme coin on Solana? Well, because these guys have had a couple other projects. Well, if they've had a couple other projects, how come they don't still have those projects, right? Good reasons for it, actually, right? That's a matter of perspective and opinion, but I think they're good reasons. So, I'll tell you what happened. First off, they had a project called Cody. Now, this was before I ever really got to know these guys, which was probably a couple years ago, right? Cody was launched. From the little bit I looked at Cody a couple years ago, I think it had something to do with like music, and I remember it being a beautiful website, very detailed, all kinds of information. I mean, they had all kind of stuff going on. I remember that it seemed like they had quite a following, right? As far as community and stuff like that. But in talking to some of the community and some of the team, what happened, I guess, with Cody was very shortly after Cody launched, I think maybe even a matter of days, got hit with a bit of a bear market. Bitcoin took a nosedive and everything went down with it, right? Even through all that, they still built Cody up. And they did everything that they could do to build it up. Now, I don't think that these are big money guys. I don't think they're guys that can just come out of pocket with millions of dollars to really get something going. But they came with all the resources that they had. They came with all the determination that they had and the abilities and the skills and the know-how that they had to do everything that they could for Cody. And they did quite a lot. But it did come to the point where it lost steam. Because a lot of things were losing steam, right? So what they did, what they could have done, could have closed shop. We've seen it. We've seen it happen. They could have closed shop. They could have yanked liquidity. They could have disappeared and you never heard from them again, right? They could have left everybody hanging, pulled the rug, and screwed everybody. Didn't do that. Not those kind of people, right? What they did was had a conversation with their community and said, listen, we want to transition. We want to transition into something that we think will deal with this market that we're in a lot better. For us, for you, for everybody. And they had discussion after discussion about it. What they did was they created something called Cookie Sale. You may have heard of Cookie Sale. It was a launch pad. I've talked about Cookie Sale. I've actually done videos on Cookie Sale on my channel a while ago, maybe a couple of years ago, I guess, right? They launched Cookie Sale, and it was beautiful. What a great project this was. The problem that it had was there was something called Pink Sale. And Pink Sale dominated. Back then, it dominates now. And again, because these aren't guys that are coming out of their pocket with millions of dollars to throw at something, when you've got a juggernaut like Pink Sale, and even Gempad came out within there too, and they were another juggernaut. When you're trying to contend with big things like that, it's very, very difficult. Now, I can tell you that I have talked to projects that were about to launch, and I told them, hey, what about Cookie Sale? And they said, we've looked at Cookie Sale. We love what they're doing. They had a way where you didn't have to come out of pocket with all of your tokens in order to launch, right? They had a different way of setting up the finances that people really, really liked. But the deciding factor for most projects that I talked to was that even though they could save a lot of money going with Cookie Sale, the volume was on Pink Sale. And even though I have very rarely seen a Pink Sale launch go smoothly, they have issue after issue. And they're more expensive, but they're more expensive because that's where the volume is, right? So even though all that, people still chose to launch on Pink Sale. So they had a hard time with Cookie Sale getting it off the ground. Not because it wasn't a great project, not because they didn't know what they were doing, but it was difficult. But they built it up so much and had such a good platform that they got an offer from another bigger company, someone with a higher market cap, to buy it. And they had a lot of conversations amongst the team. They had conversations amongst the community. And one of the conditions for this company to buy Cookie Sale, and they ultimately did buy Cookie Sale, one of the conditions was that the existing holders had to be taken care of. These guys would not have relinquished control or sold anything if they weren't guaranteed that their holders were going to be taken care of. Again, this is the kind of people you're dealing with, right? They could have sold, put money in their pocket, changed their names, and went on and built something else, or went and sat on a yacht on a beach somewhere. Didn't do that, right? Didn't do that. So here we are sometime down the line, and we have Alan the Alien. It's on Solana. And it's the same team. It is the same. It's like 5 or 6 guys that I've heard these names, and I've talked to these guys in private chats and stuff for a long, long time now. Same guys. They've come together and they've created this project. So here's the thing. It's a project that like any other project, could do well, might not do well. You don't know, right? You never know with crypto. It's just very volatile. So I don't expect anyone to ever put money into something that they can't afford to put money into, right? Or use money that they can't afford to use. So go in cautiously, but do your due diligence, do all your own research, right? Don't necessarily take my word for it. But the reason that I even bring this to you is because of that team that I just told you about. That's who's involved with this, okay? So the only thing that you can really be kind of confident in is that these guys are here with a lot of expertise and a lot of know-how and a lot of determination and with some pretty good morals, right, and ethics to build this project and to do something special for their community. Now, yeah, it's a third thing that they've done in the last 3 years, but let's be honest. How many huge companies are there out there? And you know some of the people who have created these humongous companies. How many times did they create something and it just didn't work out? Wasn't the right timing, whatever it was, and failed before they hit that one big thing, okay? So you can't look at that and say, oh, they failed a couple times. No, they really didn't, right? They were honing their skills. Circumstances didn't allow, but they didn't give up. They made sure that their community was taken care of, and they moved on and tried to better themselves and come up with an even better project, which is what they're trying to do here. So, in my opinion, worth you looking at. Worth you looking at. So do that, right? Do that. Do your own due diligence. Check it out. I think that you'll find all the things that I was telling you. I mean, you can Google all this information. You can figure it out for yourself. Yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you about them. This was obviously longer than I expected it to be, but I wanted you to kind of feel my passion about these guys, right? Not an endorsement of the project. I have no idea where this project's going to go, but if these guys have their way, it's going to do as well as they can possibly make it do. Okay, and it's really cheap right now, really early to get in, so check it out. All right, talk to you later. Ciao.